Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. I'm Kristi Shive, and this morning we're visiting with Jordan Crain. She's Family and Consumer Sciences Agent in Barren County. Well, Jordan, many of us have found ourselves in the middle of baking and realize that we are out of a certain ingredient. But today you are going to tell us what we can do so that we can still get to the finished product.
Yes, so you are right. I feel like most of us have found ourselves kind of like in the middle of something really good, really special, something that we're really excited to try. And we have that one ingredient that we just can't find. So, we'll kind of just cover some of the most common things that you find in a lot of ingredients and that you might be using a lot of, especially with the holiday baking. I know sometimes, Christy, when I get started, it seems like everything calls for an egg.
Mm.
And maybe I'm out of eggs. And so I start to get, frantic, like, what do I need to do? Because I really want to finish this, or I have people coming in a little bit. And so if you find yourself without an egg, I'm just going to kind of go over a couple of things that you can substitute in. And so again, these are going to be while baking. Okay. So cakes, pies, that kind of thing. But one thing that you can use in place of an egg would be flaxseed and water. So if you needed like one egg, you would combine a tablespoon of ground flaxseed with 3 tablespoons of water, and it kind of gets that egg-like consistency. So it's a really neat process to see take place. The other thing that you might have on hand, I know I typically do, is applesauce. And so for one egg, you can use a fourth a cup of applesauce.
And applesauce does give such a nice texture, makes everything really moist.
It does, yes, especially when baking. So applesauce is a really good alternative. And even bananas. We often don't think about that, but mashed bananas for one egg, you can use half of a medium-sized banana and just mash that up really well and use it in place of your egg. And another thing, this is a good one, is buttermilk, because we typically find that we have buttermilk in our houses around the holiday season sometimes. So for one egg would be a fourth a cup of buttermilk. And then the last one, Christy, the last egg replacement or alternative that I'll cover today is yogurt. And so for one egg, you can use just a fourth a cup of yogurt. And I would make sure that that's like plain yogurt. You probably wouldn't want any flavored yogurt, depending on what you're baking. But if you have plain yogurt, a fourth a cup of that would give you about the same as one egg.
Wonderful. All right, Jordan, what other substitutions do you have for us?
Just a few others. Milk. Sometimes we use a lot of milk,
Mm.
again, kind of like our eggs. So for milk, if you have half and half, you can use 1 cup of half and half. So it's equal. 1 cup of milk would be a cup of half and half.
Okay.
Um, Same for with sour cream. You can use sour cream in place of milk. So 1 cup of milk would you would need 1 cup of sour cream.
Okay.
Again, back to the plain yogurt, we knew that we could use that in need of eggs, but we can do the same. Again, it's an equal alternative. If you need 1 cup of milk, you would use 1 cup of plain yogurt. And then you can also use some non-dairy milk. So if you have, almond milk or that kind of thing in your fridge, you would use that. Again, equal 1 cup for 1 cup, and even non-dairy yogurt. But one other thing that we sometimes might run out of is like vegetable oil. So we'll go over just a few substitutions in the event that you run out of oil. So any cooking oil can be substituted for vegetable oil. So, a tablespoon of vegetable oil, you can use a tablespoon of any other neutral oil like canola or
Okay.
sunflower or anything like that. Even coconut oil, it's an equal thing across the board. So 1 tablespoon for 1 tablespoon.
Now, you were going to let us know what we could use as a honey substitute. So, what can we use for that?
So if you find yourself out of honey, but you need that sweetness, you can use maple syrup, a tablespoon per tablespoon, or even sugar. So 1 tablespoon of honey, use 1 tablespoon of any kind of sugar.
Wonderful tips for this baking season. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Farm and Home Show, and we will see you next time.
Thank